Hey, what is going on, guys? So here we have the third installment in the Bandai Petitrits line, another character here from Fate Grand Order. This would be Avenger, aka Jeanne d'Arc Alter here. It's a pretty cool looking one indeed. It's got this cool tattered dress there and the big flag and all of that. I love this kind of like mask bit there on the front of her head. Again, no prior knowledge of the Fate series at all going into this, just want to remind you guys of that, but these kits are pretty cool. So I reviewed the first two and they are pretty cool. A little bit, it seems like sort of Bandai's kind of answer to Nendroids, sort of in the kind of cute SD style, but albeit they're very basic. They don't really have a lot of articulation. The molding on them is nice. But they don't really particularly do a whole lot. That said, they're pretty cheap. They only, the only cost should be somewhere around $13, $15, something like that. So they're not very expensive. As you can see, pretty small, simple box here, and there are only a couple runners inside. The color separation is alright, but obviously I think we're not going to have any of this kind of like purple tinge around on there. It's pretty much just going to be all black, I'm assuming, there for the dress. But they were nice little figures, kits, figures that you can build, like a kit, sort of, if you will. So as always, guys, a big thank you to USA Gundam Store for their support. Check the link down below to check out everything there at USA Gundam Store and save 10% off of everything on their site, of course, using that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. So, alright, here on the side of the box, we can see this is number 3 in the line. We've got 4 and 5 coming out at the beginning of next year, so looking forward to checking those out as well once those are out. Down on the bottom of the box here, look at the runners. So you've got a few different colors there represented on what looks like it's going to be just 2 runners for this kit. Just pointing out about the color separation there between like the mask and the hair, for example. And then over here it's talking about the flag. And then also the sword parts, the detail of the design. You can see there's a little bit of posing here going on that you can sort of turn the head, move the arms around a little bit. The legs, if you remember, are fixed pose. They have a joint there at the hip, but there's no joint in the knee, so it's pretty much just gonna stand, and that's gonna be about it. But you can just move the flag in different ways, so that's cool. And like just the look of the flag waving the wind, I guess, will help it look a little bit more dynamic there in whichever pose you want to end up going for with that. Once again, we have a little pose here. My hatred, my resentment, shall I make you know how it feels? Yes, that sort of dark commentary is exactly what you would expect to come out of this face, I suppose. So, alright, anyway, on to the top of the box. And once again, we have a sort of real size image here of this. So just showing you that the actual figure is going to be about 10 centimeters. So this is an actual size image of that. We've got this cool red base for this one this time, so that's pretty awesome. And then just a smaller photograph of the back side of the kit there. No list price listed on there, but again, the list price is around 1,500 yen, if I remember correctly, for these, so not too bad at all. There is our sticker sheet, which you can see is pretty large because of the big stickers there for the flag, but then there's our 2 runners as well, so we'll take a look at those in a moment. Here is our instructions, which on the top we just got the artwork there from the top of the box, the runner list here, a look at the sticker sheet there. It's all in color here on the front, going through the first parts of the construction, the face, the body, and the arms, the legs, and then down here at the bottom we do have our color guide there as well. The colors are listed in Japanese and in English. Around here on the back then, a little bit more of the construction of the legs, final assembly of the body, and then the flag there and all of that, where all the stickers go and everything for that, and then the display base. So let's get a look at the runners. So once again, here's a look at the sticker sheet. So you can see you got stickers there for the eyes, a bunch of these little markings and things that are going to go around in different places there. Basically just all on the flag, and then again just these big stickers that will cover the flag. And then these kind of faded purple parts, those will go around on the dress to give you that kind of faded purple edge around in some of the different areas there. Alright, the runner A here is in 4 different colors. We've got that off-white at the top for her hair, the clear red over here for the base parts, and then some very light skin tone parts here for basically the thighs and the face, and then just a bunch of black there for a bunch of parts of the dress and the clothing parts and all of that. And then runner B here is in a very dark navy color for some more parts of the dress wear, the weapons here. You got the swords, which the detail on those looks really nice on the flag as well. Let me give you guys a closer look at that actually. So you can see here on the sword, like you have this detail of this bit wrapped around there. It looks really cool. And then on the flag as well, just the little tie of rope there on the flag and just this detail along the edge of that. So the main part of the flag is just going to be this big flat surface. So if you wanted to paint something else there, put some other different kind of marking on there, it'd be pretty easy to do that. So that's pretty cool. And over here is just a close-up look there at the mask as well. Again, really nice detail, so painting that up is going to definitely help bring out some of those details. But for the meantime, let me just get it built up and give you guys a look at exactly how it's going to look just straight up, snapped up, built up, straight out of the box. Alright, and here she is all snapped together, looking very cool. The clear red base is really awesome, but as you can see, if you've got it on top of something black, it's not really going to be looking really its best. It's kind of very dark looking, so maybe make sure that you're setting the base on top of something light, or you could get even one of those like light up stands from underneath. That would look really awesome, I think, or make your own, of course, putting some LED lights underneath that. As for the figure itself, it's pretty standard if you built one of the first couple or both of them, or if you've seen my reviews, or if you're just familiar in general with the first couple releases. It's just like that. And the articulation is basically the same. I'll show you here all of the articulation in a moment. I did find that the hair is pretty nice on this. I don't know, compared to the other ones it was also pretty good, but the detail on it is nice. You have a few pieces that are like sticking off to the side, and of course you have the one piece that's sticking up at the top as well, as that's just a separate piece. So just the detail of that, the detail of the whole body, all of the armor and everything, all is really nice. The like sort of skirt part, like tattered skirt around the bottom, it's all really nicely molded. Of course, again, it's not in the full kind of colors. It doesn't have that kind of faded purple. Like we do have some of that on the top half, of course, just made up by the stickers. The stickers fit all right. Just like with the first couple kits in the line, they're a little bit kind of like rubbery sort of stickers, and they fit over the curved surfaces of that pretty well around the back. Maybe you can see they're a little bit wrinkled sort of. But in general, if you aren't really too worried about it, I don't think you're going to lose out too much if you don't want to stick those stickers on. Of course, painting that is going to be your best option. And those parts are separate pieces, so they should be easy enough to paint. But like for the shoulders, you have like a sort of separate edge underneath the parts like supposed to be painted, so it might be a little bit hard. If you want to make it exactly right, you might have to do a little bit of masking for that. Let's go ahead real quick and just take a look at some of the articulation first before we move on. Alright, so this bit of hair here on the top can be rotated, so if you wanted that a little bit more off to the side or something, you can do that. The head itself will move up all the way to there, down only to there, so you're not really going to be able to look down at all. You can just basically look forward or kind of up like that a little bit. As for the torso, you don't have any articulation in that at all. It doesn't move at all. You can't rotate it or anything. The arms, though, however, you can move them around. You can move it up to about 90 degrees like that, and then you do have some, of course, rotation. You can bring that forward. You have a little bit of a bend here at the elbow, almost sort of 90 degrees, sort of, and then the wrist will just rotate here. If I can even, it's kind of very small parts here, if I can get a hold of that. There you go. The wrist will rotate like that. The hands that we have here are just holding hands meant to hold our two accessories, which we'll see in a moment. This sword scabbard here, which is just attached around the waist, is just loose on there. It's not actually plugged into anything, so it's just kind of meant to just be hanging there like that, but it looks convincing enough. I suppose you kind of have to figure out where you want to put it along the skirt, where you want it kind of resting in between the parts there, but should fit just laying flat on there. You have these sort of side bits which are plugged on there separately later on. Those don't move or anything, they're just plugged onto there. And then the legs, like with the other releases, the feet are on ball joints, so you can sort of move those around a little bit. The legs themselves also on ball joints, but you can only really move that forward a little bit, like to there, and forward and back like that, and then this one as well, but they're just kind of really blocked by this skirt, which doesn't really move at all, so they're not really going to move all that much. You can't really rotate them or anything either, so legs are going to be pretty much useless for this one. There's not a lot really that you can do with those. As for her accessories, we have the sword, which, as we saw before, is really nicely detailed. Not very color separated, it's all just one color here, but the detail is there. If you want to go ahead and paint that up, it's going to look really nice. Just fits in the hand like that, no problems at all. And then we have the flag. Now, the stickers aren't great. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 big stickers, which will make up the white part, cover that in white, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the little logo emblems that I want to put on top of that. And I will admit the big one does help to kind of cover up the crossover of the 4 white stickers there, so that just kind of like helps distract away from that, but you can still see like the overlap of the white stickers there. And then just like the wrinkles in the white sticker where it doesn't fit perfectly flat because it's a rounded surface. On the inner surface, they actually fit a little bit better. You don't really have quite as much of like the sticker wrinkle, but you still have the crossover of the stickers where the stickers are white, but they're not really super solid, so they're going to be a little bit dark looking. It's not a very bright white. You can see where they're overlapped, it's brighter just because it's double thick there. And then you have some of these circles. That's just from like the injection pins, I think is what they're called, right? From the molding process. They're in there. That's just molded into the plastic. So in order to get rid of that, you would have to sand those out first, which is just kind of annoying. So you even have some down here towards the tail end as well. So stickers for the flag, not that great, but the details, once again, the details on the flag does look really nice, having little strings off to the side and everything. This kind of ruffled edge on that. It's just two pieces, the top half and the bottom half, are just connected by this bit here in the center. Even at the bottom here, you have a nice little bit of detail there around that. So definitely doing some painting, at the very least with some dry brushing or something around to bring out some of the details on this is going to look really nice. Even if you just like paint it all one color and then just do some dry brushing, it's going to look good. But this one as well just fits into the hand pretty nicely. You have to take it apart though and slide this up from underneath like so, and then you can attach the top half back on for holding up the flag, and it should hold it up no problem. It's a little bit heavy compared to the tiny arms, but it should hold it without too much issue. And that is pretty much it for the kits. Now, like I said with the first release, I think if you're a fan of this particular character, then you'll really like this, just because it's simple, it's cheap, and you know, it just makes for a nice little figure to put on your desk. If you were to buy like just a figure or something, you know, you just take it out, you just unbox it, pull it out of the box, stick it on your desk or shelf, whatever, and there's not really much anything to it. If you prefer to actually build something, this is kind of nice. Although it's not very complicated. I mean, it's really only going to take you 20-30 minutes maybe to build. Doesn't take very long to put together at all, but still, at least it's something that you can enjoy the building process as well, and then just put it up on your shelf or whatever, and it's just a nice little display thing. Even if you don't want to paint it at all, I think it does still look pretty nice. All the detail is there, the accessories are really cool. The look is there. The sticker for the eyes looks pretty good. I think the eyes don't look too bad in this one either. Although I will just make the small complaint that I did about the other two as well, is that the piece for the eyes, the eyeball is like the eyepiece is just perfectly flat. It would have been nice if that the detail, like the lines of the eyes, or if that's actually molded in detail. It just makes for when you're painting it, it's super simple to paint. You just basically fill in the lines. But on one where it's just flat, you will have to, you know, if you do want to paint the eyes, you will have to actually, you know, paint them all out, which is a little bit more complicated if you're not experienced with that. And as for painting the flag as well, like if you really wanted to use those included sticker logos, maybe if you just like paint the white part yourself and then just stick the stickers over the top of that, I think it wouldn't look too bad. The big sticker over the curved surface gets a little bit wrinkled, but the smaller ones are perfectly fine on there, and especially on top of white, you won't really see the outline of the sticker too much. So if you were to paint that, it's not really going to be too bad, I think. You basically just do like a reverse wash kind of thing. You just paint all the flag and then you just clean up around the edges like you were if you were doing like a reverse wash on some sleeves marking parts for some kit like Kshatriya or something. But anyway, if you guys have any other further questions or comments about the kit, feel free to leave those down below. I think it's going to be a couple months before we have the next couple out. I think they're not out till something like February or something, so it's going to be a little while before we see some more of these kits. But I am looking forward to checking out the next ones that are coming out in the line. And again, I don't know if they're ever going to branch out away from just doing Fate characters, or if it's only going to be as Fate characters. I don't know. Either way, I'm kind of okay with it. I don't really mind. I'm not super invested in the line, but I do enjoy them. They're pretty cool, nice little kits. Even for me, who's not into the whole Fate thing really at all, I just like them. They're pretty cool looking little figures. But let me know your thoughts down below, and thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.